Hello everyone, and welcome to this video, which is in our Reengineering the Chess Classic series. I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler, and we're taking a look at a lovely little attack by Dawid Janowski White against Alexander Alekhine, Mannheim 1914. Now, Mannheim 1914, very famous tournament. It's a tournament that was taking place as World War I erupted, and a lot of the players there, many of whom were Russians, found it pretty tough to get back to their home country. A lot of stories about what happened to Alekhine. I think Alekhine was even presumed dead at some stage. Bogolyubov stayed in Germany even after World War I ended. A number of other players, like Flamberg, also had some difficulties, and Janowski went to America, but well, his whole trip there was very eventful, and there was a newspaper interview with him afterwards where he described all that, and pretty tough situation. You can find that on a little section on Edward Winter's page called Janowski's Jottings, which has a lot of interesting stuff about Dawid Janowski. This position is rather strange in actual fact, because looking at the course of the game, the centre was blocked, and then Janowski played a g3, as you can imagine, just to open up the king side, and I assumed that Janowski was better, and that presumably Alekhine could have defended better, but it was always going to be good for white. But actually, in this position, the engines prefer black here. Which surprises me a great deal, because white's going to double up on the g-file and presumably reroute the bishop somehow and attack, but the engine just think that with something like rook f7, king h8, you just avoid all the danger, and then you start lining up on the f3 pawn or the h3 pawn. You play bishop takes d5 and maybe get into the c-file. Just all seems to be better for black, but well, I'll need to get my head around that one to really understand it fully. However, there is no doubt about who was better after Alekhine's next move, which was queen g5. And to be honest, this looks incredibly natural. A little bit cheeky, putting the queen opposite the rook. But what black is aiming to do is to bring the queen to h5. And from h5, the queen attacks f3, and the queen also attacks h3 in front of the white king. You can imagine, this rook moving, and then, for example, the bishop coming to c8, or we're playing rook f7, rook f8, bishop c8 afterwards. You can imagine that this looks like a really efficient way to get the queen involved, attacking the white king side, and actually putting danger on the white king as well. But Janowski spotted something absolutely beautiful, and there's really some very nice tactical points in all this, and very impressed about the combination that Janowski found. He started off with bishop f4 here, and discovering an attack on the black queen, and of course getting the bishop at once to that diagonal, attacking the pawn on h6. So, well, the black queen probably wasn't intending to retreat anyway, but it has to stay on either h5 or h4 in order to keep the h6 pawn protected. So queen h5 was played by Alekhine, the most natural move. Just you're keeping an attack on f3, defending h6, attacking h3 as well. Queen on h4 is a little bit exposed. The variations are similar, so we won't look too much at those. And here, Janowski played the really great move, which is rook eg1 here. So just giving up this bishop on f4 and attacking the pawn on g7. Now, not too surprising that e takes f4 just loses. We've got rook takes g7, king h8, and then this move e5, which is really, really powerful. And actually, if you even try and play queen f5 to stop queen h7 checkmate, then rook g8 check is by far the strongest move, just deflecting the rook. King h7, rook g7 is checkmate, and obviously rook g8, we just take, and then queen f5, which is completely killing. So you can't take that bishop. However, it's also a little bit difficult to do anything like defending the pawn, g5, I just go bishop takes g5. And rook f7 has the rather unfortunate point that rook takes g7 is killing, because after rook g7 we've got knight f6 check, forking the queen and the king. So, but Alekhine played bishop d5, which doesn't look so stupid. I mean, you're removing that knight on d5, and you're going to be able to take, for example, with the rook on f4 and avoid, really weakening yourself too much. So rook takes g7 was played, king h8, e takes d5, and possibly the move that that Alekhine was pinning his hopes on, the move e4, because what we are aiming for here is to take the bishop on f4 and then block afterwards the b1h7 diagonal, maybe with a rook f5, or maybe even end up taking the h3 pawn with the queen. For example, queen e4, we just go bishop f4 check, and well, what are you going to do? You're threatening queen h7 check, that's great, but if you go king g2, then king takes g7 is possible, and if you go back to h1, then queen takes h3 check is checkmate. So e4 actually looks like one of those, incredible saving resources, and black is just winning. But Janowski had a beautiful idea in mind, really, really lovely. And you can maybe stop the video and have a look to see if you can find it, if you fancy a little tactical test, because rook g8 check was what he played. So obviously king h7, we can't just avoid it because queen takes c4 would be check now. And after rook g8, we've got queen takes d4. And there's actually no good way to block this, because queen and here are defending the e5 square, and obviously rook g7 is impossible. And after king h7, we go queen takes e4 check. And now, well, whatever black does, white's basically got the same idea. King h8, of course, we'd have a possible draw like that, but white's actually got it even better. We take, bishop d6. And one of the key points is that if you do something like rook e8, which looks like you might develop some counterplay with rook e2, then white has this fantastic move bishop e7, quite unusual actually, but the idea simply is that we're just going to go d6 here and support the bishop. So yeah, I mean, you do something like queen f7, just d6, and then, well, the c pawn's going to run, and the d pawn eventually as well, and that is going to be that. So Alekhine played the move rook g6, and now bishop takes d6, rook e8, which was a cunning little attempt. If you go queen takes e8, we've got rook g2, for example. But Janowski just played bishop e7 here, and well, we're keeping this pin on, and we're just going to be able to play d6. So Alekhine played king g7, and then takes, and d6, and that was that, because d7 is coming, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Yeah, I think that Alekhine resigned here. The only sensible move I can think of is king f7, and then we go d7, king e7, takes, and well, white's 2 pawns up, protected pass pawn is just completely winning. So there we are. That was a rather nice little combination from Janowski. Yeah, bishop f4, and then this piece sacrifice rook g1. But I think, yeah, in particular, this counter thrust by Alekhine, and then this lovely little rook g8 check was a really gorgeous combination. And well, if you're going to defeat one of the players who became one of the greatest world champions of all time, then, well, why not do it in this fantastic combinative way? A really great game from Janowski. There we are. Hope you enjoyed that. Why not give a like, subscribe to the channel, take a look at the books if you did enjoy it, and otherwise, thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.